Take 5. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode of me talking about stuff and things, I wanted to do a brief recap of episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Naked and Afraid Spain, aka Aventura in Pelotas Espana, now streaming on Max. It is streaming a few other places, but I know for sure it's on Max. The first 2 episodes were released on January 12th. The following Sunday, episode 3 came out, and then a new episode is going to come out until episode 7, which I believe is dropping on February 16th. And hopefully that'll be the Sunday we get the newest season of Naked and Afraid. If not, Naked and Afraid season 18 will air on the 23rd, a week later. And hopefully a trailer will be dropping soon if it hasn't already at time of recording. Also linked below are some surveys. There's the Last One Standing survey, the Largadas Pelotas survey, and a superlative vote that I made. I'm posting sections 3, 4, and 5 here, so vote on who you feel best exemplifies the category. Now moving on to the recap. We have 10 new survivalists who are taking on this challenge. The format is similar to Naked and Afraid Brazil and Naked and Afraid Mexico, where it's 5 pairs of survivalists in a similar area, and it's 7 episodes, and by the end, the individuals who complete their 21-day challenges get extracted together. And we have the 10 new survivalists. We have Inaki and Atenea. I apologize if I get some of these names wrong. Adrian, Guinness, Alba, Antonio. We have Jose, Ainara, Sarah, and Felix. Again, I apologize for messing up any of those names. And the duos are pretty much the order in which I've listed. Inaki and Atenea are partners. And for the first 3 episodes, we see them having a good partnership. Inaki is able to get a lot of bugs. Atenea is able to get some fruit. They get a fish. But at around day 6, we see Inaki's mood kind of dropping, and I'm very worried for him. And Atenea is trying her best to boost his spirits up. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working very much, so hopefully he can pick himself up, but I'm very worried about him. And then we have Adrian and Guinness, the only 2 male duo, because this season is interesting because there are 6 men who are taking on this challenge and 4 women. So Adrian and Guinness are the 2 men who are partnered up. They are both very experienced. And Adrian actually has a YouTube channel where he talks about survival stuff and living on his property and other such videos. I will link those below. And they are kind of butting heads a little bit because Adrian is very worried about the environment and worried about the plants and animals that could harm him. And Guinness a little bit annoyed with that and has a little bit more of a laid back approach. And by episode 3, they seem to be working well together, but that tension may rise at some point. So we shall see. And then Alba and Antonio are also a good partnership, because Antonia is very supportive of Alba. Alba is trying her best, and she has a few low moments throughout the 3 episodes, but Antonia is able to pick her back up and help her out and give her some advice, and so it's a nice partnership. Oh, and Antonio and Alba get a snake, and Adrian and Guinness get a snake, and Jose and Ainara get a snake, and oh my goodness, Jose and Ainara are a little bit volatile because they pretty much argue almost from the get-go. Jose decides to build a second shelter, which is nothing to sneeze at, because with the lack of food and nutrients, he's able to, help build one shelter and then build a second one. They argue about the use of the ferro rod, which is used to start fires. They're arguing because Jose is trying to give Ainara some constructive criticism / tips to make sure things go smoothly or things don't burn down or whatnot, and Ainara kind of snaps back at him. We don't see exactly everything that's going on, but I feel very bad for both of them because this is a very difficult challenge, and it'd be great if they could work together, but they just keep butting heads, and it's taking a toll, and Jose cuts his foot at one point. So we shall see what happens. Hopefully they can come together in the end, or at least both make it to the end, but it seems like there's going to be a lot of arguments. And then we have Felix and Sarah. Unfortunately, this group is probably the least successful pairing of the 5 because Felix is very experienced and Sarah seemed to not be as prepared for this challenge. She is getting heat exhaustion almost right off the bat and struggling, and she's very outdoorsy, but unfortunately that did not translate to this challenge. So Felix is overworking himself to try to help her out. He gives her a stern talking to. There's also a 20-year age difference between the two, and that might be affecting their partnership a little bit because Felix is a lot more experienced in survival and Sarah is not. And so Felix tells her, hey, you need to pick yourself up and you need to start doing stuff because I know you're tired and I know you're hot, but we're not going to make it through if you don't kick it into high gear. And unfortunately, Sarah's mental health took a little bit of a turn and she unfortunately taps in episode 2. And in episode 3, Felix is struggling with the loneliness of not having a partner there because he had COVID and had to be in the hospital for about a month or so a few years ago. And so the weight of loneliness kind of snuck up on him, and he unfortunately tapped the day after Sarah did. She tapped day 3, I believe, and he tapped day 4. And so there is the recap. Hopefully the groups that are at odds can come together. Hopefully Inaki can pick himself up. Hopefully Jose and Ainara can work together or at least not argue as much. Hopefully Adrian and Guinness's tension doesn't blow up too much, but we shall see. I hope they get through. There may be one more tap out by the end of the season, but I think this is a pretty strong group. I know Antonio probably won't be tapping, nor Atenea. And if you want to see the survivalists Instagrams on the Max Espana Instagram page, it has some highlights, and if you click on it, it shows all 10 survivalists and the photos you see here, and it gives their Instagram handles except for Felix's. But if you want to follow them, go follow them. Thank you all so much for listening. We shall see what happens. I hope you all have a wonderful day/night. Please like, comment nice things, and subscribe, and click the next video if it's mine. Okay, thank you all so much. Bye-bye.